Every year, more than 20 million tons of yogurt are consumed worldwide. With a market valued at $100 billion, this product is one of the most beloved dairy products among consumers. But do you know how it's made? In this video, you'll see all the stages of yogurt production, from collecting the raw material to the final packaging. It is believed that yogurt originated thousands of years ago, long before any written records existed. Some historians point to the nomadic tribes of Central Asia and the Middle East as possible precursors of this discovery. At that time, milk was stored in rudimentary containers, often made of leather or animal stomachs, which created the perfect environment for the development of certain bacteria that turned the milk into a thicker and slightly acidic substance. Because it was more resistant to spoiling and easier to carry on trips, this fermented product became part of those communities' diets. Nowadays, yogurt is produced industrially in factories that follow various quality standards to meet the growing demand. Although there are still artisanal ways to prepare yogurt, industrial production is predominant. The starting point for making yogurt is usually the collection of fresh milk from dairy farms. Many companies have partnerships with cattle breeders, ensuring a constant supply of raw material. The milk is collected in trucks that keep the temperature controlled in order to slow down the action of unwanted microorganisms during transportation. Before the truck leaves, technicians perform quick analyses to check aspects such as density, temperature, and possible adulteration of the milk. If any problem is identified, that batch is discarded or sent for another use that requires less stringent standards. After visiting several farms, these trucks go directly to the factory. Once there, samples are taken for more detailed examinations. The tests include checking the fat content, protein, and possible microbiological contamination. All of this happens even before unloading the milk into the storage tanks, because if any issue is found, the load can be rejected. After being approved, the milk is pumped into stainless steel tanks, where it is stored at a low temperature until it is processed. These tanks are large structures designed to prevent temperature fluctuations, and most importantly, to minimize the risk of contamination. In many industries, the milk goes through a standardization step in which its fat content is adjusted depending on the type of yogurt being made. If the recipe calls for whole milk yogurt, most of the milk's natural fat is retained. If it's non-fat yogurt, part or almost all of the fat is removed through centrifugation. There are also low-fat versions, which are in between. During the standardization process, ingredients that improve the texture and consistency of the yogurt, such as powdered milk or certain food stabilizers, can also be added. These additives are used to give firmness to the final product, especially in the production of yogurt that will be sold in jars or plastic cups, where the consumer expects to find a thick, creamy texture instead of a runny liquid. After standardization, it's time to eliminate possible contaminants, microorganisms that could cause milk spoilage or health problems. This is where pasteurization comes in, a fundamental step for the entire dairy line. Although the traditional method of pasteurization is to heat the milk to 70 to 72 degrees Celsius for about 15 seconds. In yogurt factories, there are usually variations in these temperatures and times. Sometimes the milk is heated to higher temperatures for different periods, since the industry sets these parameters according to the type of equipment and the product formulation. Pasteurization not only eliminates most of the unwanted bacteria, but also inactivates enzymes that could cause changes in flavor and color. Next, the milk is quickly cooled down to a temperature range suitable for the next step, which is the addition of microbial cultures. The goal is to bring the milk to around 40 to 45 degrees Celsius, the range considered ideal for the bacteria that ferment yogurt to act in a controlled way. When the temperature is adjusted, specific bacterial cultures are added to the milk. These bacteria are responsible for fermenting lactose, the natural sugar in milk, turning part of it into lactic acid. It's this fermentation that creates the characteristic texture and flavor of yogurt, as well as helping to preserve the product. In the industry, these bacteria are obtained from suppliers who produce them in controlled environments. They usually come in powder or liquid concentrate form and are carefully measured. Once the dairy cultures are well mixed, the product is sent to fermentation tanks, which keep the temperature around 40 to 45 degrees Celsius. This process can last from 4 to 6 hours, depending on the desired intensity of flavor and acidity. During this time, the bacteria feed on the lactose and convert it into lactic acid. Gradually, the acidity of the mixture increases and the milk starts to become thicker. Several factories have automatic systems that monitor the acidity of the yogurt in real time. Usually, pH is used as an indicator to determine the ideal fermentation point. When a certain pH value is reached, the process is stopped and the product is transferred to the cooling stage. After cooling, yogurt can have fruits, jams, sweeteners, and other ingredients added to make the flavored versions. The fruits are usually prepared beforehand. They can be cooked or subjected to a pasteurization process to reduce the microbial load and increase shelf life. The mixture of these fruits with yogurt, whether in the form of pulp, pieces, or syrup, is done in a way that does not harm the structure of the product. In some production lines, the fruit stays at the bottom of the cup and the plain yogurt is added on top, creating that layered look. In others, the fruit is fully mixed in, making the yogurt colorful and uniform. After all these steps, it's time to package the yogurt so it can be distributed to the markets. There are several types of possible packaging: plastic cups sealed with aluminum foil, small bottles, or even flexible packaging. The choice depends on the target audience, the style of yogurt, and each manufacturer's marketing strategies. Filling takes place on fully automated lines. Machines line up the cups or bottles, which are filled to the exact amount. Next comes the sealing, which can be done by heat sealing or by applying lids. This environment needs to be aseptic, or at least controlled, to minimize exposure to germs that could contaminate the product. When everything is properly sealed and labeled, the packages are boxed and sent to cold storage. And that was today's video. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel.